Next Legacy.
This is Tommy Jackson with First No Play. Listen to my girl Danaya. Man, what a great show. Everybody tune in to her. Radio's happening through Danaya.
This is Timothy Bloom, and you're now tuned in to Danaya Azure Radio.
Good evening, Timothy, and welcome to Danaya Azure Radio. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing? It's just straight
I
through
am
like
phenomenal. Yes. Yes, sir. I am so glad to have you on. So I met the phenomenal Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, producer Timothy Bloom in Tommy Jackson's Soulful Sunday Room, and he just has such a beautiful energy, and child, he can sing. I think sing. He can sing. So, how did you originally get into music?
I got into music when I was a kid. When I was young, playing in my dad's church. Started playing the drums when I was 8 years old. He needed a piano player, so I started playing piano by ear. Long story short, as soon as I graduated from high school, I moved to Germany, and I was actually in a boy band. I was out there for a year, and then next thing you know, I'm in Los Angeles, California, doing records for Smokey Robinson, and everything just kind of went uphill from there.
Okay, wait. So you lived in Germany and you were in a boy band? How did that happen? Wait.
Yeah, I'm over here like jumping all over the place. No, there's a group of young fellows out in North Carolina, Fayetteville, where I was raised, and this promoter out there, he traveled across the country, and stuff like that. So he wanted to take some guys over across the seas and stuff to, get their first, their feet wet and experience the music industry and touring and stuff like that, recording. And, I'm still friends with these guys today. Like, they're all doing successful in what they do. We all could sing. I was actually much more behind the scenes. I produced and wrote for the group.
Okay.
But later on, I started to sing and stuff like that a little bit. I guess I kind of, it grew on me from watching them do their thing and stuff like that. So, that's how it happened. We all went. We had the opportunity to go out there, and we went out there for a year.
What was that experience like?
To be totally honest, in the beginning, it was really cool because, it's like, I'm young. I'm 17 years old. I don't know what's about to happen. A lot of folks thought we were Drew Hill. You know what I'm saying? They would be running up and down the street. Like,
I love it.
Yeah, it was an experience. It was cool. And then, we got this. Germany's it's really great. So, you miss that sunshine a little bit. And it got a little gloomy, a little depressing a little bit in certain cases. But I think the stage kind of kept everything. There's a balance, being able to, get that experience. Like, oh wow, these people ain't gonna remember anything after 5-6 years, because I know I ain't gonna be living in Germany for 5-6 years. But I was wrong.
Right.
Because they still know the name of the group, the songs, and I get people hitting me up, from time to time, about the records that we produced out there. So it's interesting.
Oh, that's super fire. So what was the very first song that you ever wrote, and what was it about?
Oh, my God. The very first song I wrote about, I was trying to be a hopeless romantic, at the end of the day. It was about a crush. And the song was, I got a crush on you. I'm not going to go back into detail. But yeah, it was about a crush that I had. And we ended up being together for 6 years.
Nice. That is super dope. Grammy Award-winning artist Timothy Bloom is my guest here on Danaya Azure Radio. So, you wrote for Smokey Robinson. Explain how that happened and what was that experience like?
Yeah. So I moved out to actually Mickey Stevenson was one of the first first managers. He was like A&R for Motown, one of the first A&Rs of Motown. And his son Novel is one of my best friends. So we drove down from Atlanta in a U-Haul. We just moved to LA. And as soon as we got there, we built a back house. We had our living quarters and our studio there. And that's where we started making music. And from time to time, Smoker, he'll come by. And there's one particular time I was working on some music, and he came by, and he like, I like that tune. What you doing with it? And I'm just working. You know, he said, I would love to write to it. We set a date. It was a Saturday. He came by early in the morning, and he left in like 15, 20 minutes. Like he wrote it, recorded it in like 15, 20 minutes, and then that's how our working relationship happened.
That's incredible. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand when you're talking about working with icons and you can really see the actual process. Like, what was that? Like, what was the energy? Like, how were you feeling? Did you really understand, you know, what was going on? Or was it kind of just like, you know, just another day at the ranch?
Yeah, you know, I didn't know what was going on. I knew who of Smokey Robinson. The only time I ever got starstruck by anybody was Rihanna. And Smokey, he's definitely a mentor. He's like one of my peers. And I think there was a respect level that I have for him because I just want to understand like his work ethic and just, you know, gain knowledge from him and just understand like, man, you're the reason why I'm here. You know, like my mom and my dad, like between you and Marvin Gaye, like that's all they listen to.
Right. I love it. So you said you got to work with Rihanna. What project was that on, and how did that come about?
No. I didn't. So when I was, and I'm jumping the gun, but yeah, when I was signed over at Interscope and working with Timbaland and Polo the Don, we used to have these gatherings and stuff like that, and hang out at the studios and build relationships. And Timbaland told me to come by the studio, and she was there. And
gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, my jaw dropped to the floor.
So you haven't worked with her yet, but it's coming. I promise you, it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. And Grammy Award winner Timothy Bloom is my guest here on Danaya Azure Radio. So far you've done tons of songs, tons of collaborations. What would you say is your favorite song that you've written so far, and why?
For like the artists that I've worked with?
For yourself.
Oh, for myself. Probably Till the End of Time. Till the End of Time is probably like my favorite. One of my favorites. I don't know. They're all my favorites. Like that's kind of hard. It's like having a child and saying that one's my favorite. Yeah. It's kind of hard to choose.
Yeah, so it's funny. So I'd seen Timothy in a couple of different rooms, but then like I remember Tommy was telling us, he was like, y'all gotta check out this video he did with V. Bozeman. We actually interviewed V. Bozeman when she was on Empire.
Okay.
So right, like. Yeah, it was really funny because when I told her, I was like, girl, I'm like, you set the tone for the entire show. Like, you're the first voice we ever hear, period.
Right.
So what was that experience like, and how did that come together?
I mean, me and V, we've been friends for such a long time. Like, I think when I moved to LA, she moved to LA as well too, and then we just started doing. There's a couple of us that moved from Atlanta out to LA just to, have a different scenery and to do music and work on music and our crafts and stuff like that. And they used to sing. She used to sing background for me, like when I was doing my tour and stuff. And I just wanted to get her out of that, in the back scene and like kind of like pull it up to the front. And I was like, yo, like, I'm at the house, I'm writing a song. I think you should get on it. And she came by the house and we knocked it out. And that was the song that everybody wanted to choose at that time when I was signed to Interscope. They wanted to put out stuff like that, and I was excited. But there was a missing piece to the actual record, which was the visual. And a lot of the people at the label didn't understand like what that would look like. And then I had a dream. It's always like that. There was a dream that I had, and when I woke up from actually my brother had this dream. He said I got hit by a train. It was weird.
Wow.
And then that's when I wrote the record, and I was like, and the lyrics are, "Oh, if I should die tomorrow." And then I just saw coming in the world of being nude and going out of the world, the same way. So that was the concept. She was definitely not for it, but the team, the committee, we sat down and we broke bread, and Dave Rodriguez, he was the one that directed. This was actually his first video. He was doing like CSI and Sopranos at that time, directing that.
Right.
And he was like, "Hey, before I die," this is what he said. "Before I die, you guys will be known as a household name." And he made sure of that, and that's how Time, surfaced.
And it's such a beautiful record, y'all. Just ladies, just type in Tennessee Love, Vivos, and thank me later. It's a beautiful. It really is a beautiful record, and I like the way that it's done so tastefully. I think that was the biggest piece about it, for sure. So you've traveled all over the world. What has been your favorite place to perform at, and why?
Actually, Brazil is probably my favorite place to perform. They love our culture out there, obviously. I love the response. There was always, it was nonstop. It was very electric. Tokyo was another amazing. That was probably like one of my biggest. It was like the 37,000 some odd attendance at that show, and I was the only performer there.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That was a beautiful performance. Like everywhere that I tend to set my feet on, and like I'm honored to bless the stage. Like it's pretty much a thing for me. Like I like to be on stage.
I love it. And I've heard from a lot of artists, especially African American artists, when it comes to Japan, they just love us over there. So that's super dope.
Oh, that part, yeah, they just love us.
It's great. I think it's beautiful for people to understand the power of music and understand that you don't necessarily have to speak the same language in order to appreciate the same music. So that's really, really cool. Definitely. So what would be one of your other dream collaborations?
I like to work with Paul McCartney, Gary Clark Dreams. I'm trying to find where Noah Jones is at. She's been missing.
Right, Noah Jones was a beast.
Yeah. Kendrick Lamar, obviously Jay-Z. I don't know. There's a lot of up-and-coming artists that I want to work with as well too. That I'm really excited about.
Awesome.
What's happening inside? Working with Post Malone. I didn't know I was going to work with him. They just fell on my lap. So
how was that experience working with him?
I just sent over some music actually, and that was back in 2021. And then I just get a phone. This was a few months ago. I just get a phone call and it's like, "Yo, they're getting ready to put out Post Malone's album and you're on it." And I'm like, "What?" They just doing stuff.
I love it.
I was like, "Cool, you guys remember it. Perfect." All right.
Right? No. Okay. Wait. So let's get real for a second. Now, when it comes to songwriting, I don't think people understand that part. Like when it comes to songwriting, you're not sure if they're gonna accept the record. You know it's dope, but you're just hoping they're I hope they think it's dope. I know it's dope. My family, my team knows it's dope. And other people say it's dope, but let's hope that they think that. And by the time you find out, you're like, oh, wait, the song's out? Wait, what? Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, that's my voice on it. Okay, cool, great. Right. So it's right. It's not an overnight situation. Like, I'm glad that you said, I sent it over last year, and I didn't even know until a few months after. It takes a while for people to put out their projects and whatnot and choose what they're going to do and to know if you're going to make the final cut. So artists, I would definitely say, make sure that you just be patient. And if you have great work, it's going to get picked up. Somebody's going to notice, especially now in this social media world. It's going to get noticed. Just be patient.
I agree. I totally agree.
If you could give an up-and-coming artist one tip, let's think about one thing that you wish you would have known before you got into the industry, what would it be?
Don't give away your publishing. Keep all your publishing. That's what I would say, for anybody, especially now, you know how they be spamming us every single day on the internet, all these, that we should spam them back. You know what I mean? Make sure that your product is out there. You don't need a label at this time. Now, I mean, if you really desperately need and want that, that name under your belt, the branding wise, that's all it is, just the name, the brand. But be careful. They might put you on the shelf. They might look over you because they're waiting for the next one to come in that door, walk in. They might have a better vision or whatever the case is. You know how they do. But
exactly.
I wouldn't give any of my publishing away. Never again.
That is so important, and I'm glad that you said that because a lot of people don't understand. So many of our legends, didn't know that because people didn't explain how important it was to have your publishing because that's your rights. That you're literally essentially giving your rights to your hard work away. And people are banking off of that for years to come. And so it's when you have your publishing, that's when you're able to do your syncing and you're able to do your shows. And, if heaven forbid you pass, you can give that to your estate, to your family can still benefit off of your music a long time after you're gone. A lot of young artists were not educated on this back in the day. For numerous reasons, obviously, because otherwise they wouldn't have signed those deals.
Right, exactly.
Period.
Yeah, they don't teach you that. They don't want to teach you that. So that would be the one. That would be the main thing is to hold on to that publishing. And then in a year span, you can sell it for $100. At Motown, Barry Gordy sold his for $850 million. Come on. And that's not even the whole catalog. That's just
right.
So.
Wow. $850 million. Don't give away our publishing, y'all. Please don't. Please. Lord. Y'all heard that number. Child. Oh my goodness. So, when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
Say it one more time.
When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
What do I want my legacy to be? That's okay. Now see, those questions are kind of hard because, I'm still living day by day. Making sure that the legacy lives on. I want to definitely instill into my kids so they can continue whatever legacy or at least maintain my estates or whatever the case is. But I mean my legacy I see it being, a legacy, for my kids' kids to, just be able to see like, hey, that's your dad, that's your grandfather. He was a great man.
Yes, I agree. And I think you have beautiful energy and a beautiful soul. So I'm sure your kids will pass that along, no question.
Yeah.
So what's next for Timothy Bloom?
Next for Timothy Bloom, October 14th is my birthday.
And yes.
Sorry, my bad. I got to.
No, that's perfect. I love it.
No, I'm gonna continue to release more music. I'm excited about releasing this new music. And I'm gonna be honest. I have been sitting on a lot of music, and I'm just ready to put it out. I'm ready to do more visuals. I'm ready to tap into some new some tech stuff that I'll be sitting down talking to some folks about that will help the culture of musicians and producers. Keep myself in the lane and just being prosperous in it. Who knows? Who knows? I'll keep you posted.
I love it. Oh, you definitely got to keep us posted. And when you drop your project, I need you to come back and tell us, and we can drop it on the station.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the one you heard on Tommy's show. I'm releasing on my birthday actually.
Oh, awesome sauce. Yes. Oh, his voice is incredible, y'all. I'm telling you, just absolutely incredible. And it's always a pleasure. I love Tommy's Rooms because I find so many amazing artists in there. So shout out to Tommy Jackson, just for and First Note, because nothing but incredible musicians and talented singers, songwriters, lyricists, all in that group. I love it.
Agreed.
Yes. So go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, book you, all that fun stuff.
You can find me easy on Instagram at Timothy Bloom, like the flowers bloom. You can find me on Twitter at Timothy Bloom. You can find me on Facebook at Timothy Bloom. If you want to book Timothy Bloom, you can go to Beyond the Sky Music LLC at gmail.com. But I think it's easier to just find me on Instagram because I do all my bookings and stuff.
Awesome sauce. Thank you again. I truly appreciate you. You have such a beautiful spirit, and your music is phenomenal. And I look forward to all of the amazing things that are to come for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next Legacy.